to your Hatha Yoga class. Easy flow, good for your body. I'm so excited to see everybody here today on the mats. And so if you would like to go ahead and get your props, make sure you have a pillow or a support, a blanket, anything you would like, your blocks, that would be great as well. You may use them for certain poses that we're going to be doing, and I will let you know when it would be a great idea to use your blocks, but at any time that you feel you need to use your blocks or any props at all, go right ahead and do so. And make sure that you recognize where your body is at today. Where you are today is perfect. You are going to be doing absolutely wonderfully, and I am so excited for us to get started. So come on down onto your mats, come on into easy pose, whatever's easy for you. If you like, you can be seated on top of your heels. If you can spread your legs and spread the cushion and come all the way down onto your tushy. And from here, we will just do some nice, easy neck rolls. So just let your head do half circles from side to side, nice and slow. We're just warming up our muscles right now. We're just getting a little bit of a stretch through the neck. If you feel it in any particular spot, feel free to hang out there and just let your neck stretch. Let your head hang heavy as you slowly go through that very small range of motion. Okay, now bring your left ear to your left shoulder and just hold the stretch there. Use your right arm for an additional stretch, so try to get your right palm all the way to the floor. You might feel a nice stretch coming right through here, the side of your neck and into your shoulder a little bit. And now let's rotate over to the right side, right ear to the right shoulder. Try to get your left palm all the way to the floor. And just feel that stretch. Such a wonderful, great thing to feel. It lets you know that you're doing great things for your body. One more time on each side. Feel the stretch. And remember, never pain. Discomfort is okay. But if you feel you're in pain, then you've probably gone a little too far. Come on to the other side. And if you've gone too far, just ease back a little bit. Okay, bring your head to neutral, just kind of roll it out a little bit, get the crunchies out of it. And now let's go ahead and inhale our arms all the way up over our heads. Exhale down to heart center. From here, we're going to do 3 ohms together. So go ahead and do a nice deep inhale. Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Go ahead and inhale. Feel yourself starting to vibrate. Feel yourself coming alive. When we say Om together, we are activating our crown chakra. hopefully throughout the rest of this practice, we will activate other chakras as well. So go ahead, nice deep breath in, arms over the head, hands together. Exhale, pull all that great energy into your heart center. Inhale. Pull all that great energy into your heart center again. Hold it here. And one more time. Inhale. Pulling all that energy all the way down. Okay. Let us begin now on all fours. So come on to all fours, making sure that your knees are in line with your hips, making sure that your hands and your wrists are in line with your shoulders. And now we're going to do cat and cow. So to begin with, we're going to lower our hips down, arch our backs a little bit. Bring our hearts up, chin up. Really tip your tailbone up. Feel a nice stretch in the abdomen. And now going the other way. First tip in your tailbone and then raise up through your shoulders, pushing into your shoulders. Really engage your abdomen here. And then inhale, going back the other way. All in. Let your head hang heavy. On the inhale, come back into into cow. And then exhale. This is a great warm up for our spine. It's a great warm up for our breath. So let's just go ahead and do 3 more on our own. Go at your own pace. Cat and cow. Back to neutral. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of balance exercises. So to start off with, you are going to bring your right arm out front and take your left leg straight out behind you. Now find your balance here, making sure that your weight is equally distributed between your hands and your leg. And then from here, you're going to inhale, pull it all in. And exhale, back out again. And inhale, pull it all in. Exhale, back out again. Just let your head hang down here, looking down at your mat. Inhale, pull it in. Exhale, let it all back out. Nice straight, make sure your leg is lifted high. And inhale, pull it in. Exhale, back out again. Great. You're doing great. Put your hands and your leg back down, and we're going to go for the other side. So now bring your left arm out, your right leg back, making sure you have balance on both sides. Just stay here for a minute, find your balance, and then inhale, pull it all in, and exhale, come on out. Inhale, pulling it in. Exhale, straight leg behind you, arm up, inhale, pull it in. Exhale, come on out. Inhale, pull it in. Exhale, straight. One more, pull it in. Exhale, straight out. And return to the mat. Nicely done, everyone. Nicely done. From here, curl your toes under. And let's bring all of our weight back onto our toes. You're going to feel a nice stretch right here. You can even come all the way up. Let your bottom rest on your heels if that's comfortable for you. If not, you can stay here. But if it's comfortable for you, get a nice stretch through your feet. Really let your feet kind of widen, let the muscles relax and stretch through there. If you like, you can take your blocks. Put your blocks behind you and get a little bit more stretch going there. Feels great. Okay. Now let's bring our hands back here and push back to our first downward dog. Just stay here in downward dog. We're going to be here for a little while. Just pedal your feet out. And just move around. See what feels good for you. Get your body warmed up. Feel yourself stretching, waking up the body, getting in touch with all those parts of your body that you don't usually think about. Okay, so now that we've walked out our feet and we've kind of warmed up our calves a little bit, I want everybody to bring your feet to hip width distance apart. Okay, so here we are, hip width distance apart with our feet. And go ahead and bend your knees and come up on your toes, making sure that we don't want to be here. We want to push our ears past our elbows as far as you can, making sure you don't want to hurt yourself, but come back as far as you can. Up on your toes, bend your knees. Now tip your hips straight up to the ceiling. You're here, now tip your hips straight up to the ceiling. From here, you're going to slowly straighten your knees and put your feet on the floor. Don't move the direction of your hips. And that changes everything. Now we feel a stretch. Now we feel a deep stretch in the calves and the hamstrings, behind the knees. It's fabulous. Just stay here as long as you can. If you need to reset, you just come back up again and you reset. Ah, that feels good. Okay, now let's bring our right foot to the center of the mat, picking up our left leg, and turn your leg out to the side. Open up your hips, get a nice hip opening there. Come back, put your hips be square, straighten that leg, and bring it back down. Switching feet, make your left foot be in the center of the mat, and open up on this side. Square off your hips, straighten your leg, and bring that foot back down too. All right, gently walk your feet up towards your hands. Come all the way up to the top of the mat, and here you will just stand in forward bend, Uttanasana. Let your head hang heavy. You can grab your elbows if you want. You can just let them hang down onto the mat. Can have a little bend in your knees, that's fine. You can walk your legs out a little bit here too if you like. And now let's just roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae, nice and slow. Coming all the way up. Inhale, arms all the way up. Take a little mini micro bend, a little arch in the back. And then bring your hands to heart center. Again, inhale. Now this time grab your right wrist with your left hand. And then just tip your body over to the left so we can get a nice side body stretch here. Come back up to center and do the same thing on the other side. Grab your left wrist, bending over to the right. Pull that arm out away from your head. And then come on back to center. Bring the hands down to heart center. All right, now let's go through sun salutations here. We'll get a nice warm up for your whole body. So come on into mountain pose. Before we begin, I would like to explain a little bit about mountain pose. Okay, so when we think about mountain pose, first of all, you want to make sure your legs are directly underneath your hips. So feet are hip width distance apart. Okay, and we want to think about mountain pose. When we think about mountain pose, we hear the word mountain, what do we think? We think stability, strength. It doesn't move, right? So here in mountain pose, that's what you are. You are a mountain. You have strength, you have stability, and you don't move. So everybody take a moment to stand in your mountain pose. And you know how sometimes there's this little bit of swaying going on. You're catching yourself with your toes so you don't tip over. Okay, so we want to try to really have a strong mountain. And if it means that you have to widen your legs a little bit, that's okay. Go right ahead. But slowly but surely you'll start to come back so that your feet are hip width distance apart. And you just stand here. You can have your eyes closed or open. Catch a point on the wall and just be still. Find stillness within. And that is your mountain pose. Okay, so everybody come on back up to the front of your mat. And we'll go through some sun salutations. So, inhale. Arms over your head, little tiny bend in the back. We're going to go through these real slow, talk you through each one. Come on down to forward bend. Lifting halfway up. Back down into forward bend. Let your head hang heavy here. Step your right foot back into runner's lunge. Just feel the weight. Feel your hips opening. Let your hips feel like they're going towards the floor. And now you're going to step your left leg back. Here we're in plank pose. In plank, you don't want to be swaying down like this, and you don't want to be sticking your butt up like that. Let's make sure we're right in the center. We want to be right here. Engage your abdomen. Make sure you're nice and strong in this very strong pose. Make sure your wrists are over your shoulders. And now drop down to your knees. Bend your elbows, chest and chin to the floor. Straighten your legs. And now come on up into a baby cobra. Activate your low back muscles here. So just stay here in baby cobra. Now you can push up a little higher if you like. Curl the toes under and come on all the way up into downward facing dog. And just walk your feet out again. And this is a resting spot. When we're in downward dog, this is a resting pose. So if downward dog is not feeling like a resting pose for you ever, feel free to come on down into child's pose right here. Child's pose is your friend. Child's pose is always there for you. Whenever anything becomes too much, feel free to go right into child's pose. Okay, so now we're going to take our left foot forward. I'm sorry. Try that again. We're going to take our right foot forward. And here we're in our deep runner's lunge. Let the weight of your hips go towards the floor. Step all the way up to the front of the mat. Forward bend. Halfway lift. Come all the way down. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, heart center. And now let's go ahead with the other side. Inhale. Exhale all the way down. Hang here for a moment. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Take your left leg back. Right leg back. And now, knees, chest, chin. Come on, a little bit higher this time. Don't squeeze your butt. Let your butt cheeks be nice and relaxed. And now curl your toes under, all the way up into downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up, bring it forward to the front of the mat. Left leg, right leg forward. Hang here, halfway lift. Come on back down. Inhale all the way up. Hands to heart center. This time we'll go just a little bit faster, and now that you know the poses, you know the flow, I'm going to call out the inhale and the exhale. If at any moment you have messed up, forgotten your spot, you just look up here to me because I am doing it right along with you. So let's go. Inhale, arms over your head. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Exhale all the way down. Inhale up. Cobra. Exhale. Down facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Right leg follows. Forward fold. Half lift. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale all the way up. Heart center. Okay, let's do that on the other side now. Inhale. Inhale, exhale, exhale all the way down, inhale up, exhale, inhale right leg forward, exhale left leg forward, hang here, inhale halfway lift, exhale. Inhale all the way up. Hands to heart center. Okay, we're going to do that one last time. I'm going to call out even less this time, but we're going to go nice and fast. Inhale all the way up over the heads. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right leg back. Exhale, left leg back. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, exhale. Nice. Stay here for one breath. Inhale, left leg forward. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Inhale, all the way up. Heart center. One more time on the other side. Inhale. Inhale. Go ahead and stay here for a second. Inhale nice and deep. Now exhale all the way down. Inhale as you come up into cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale. There we go. Now we're feeling warm. Now we're feeling good. Now we're going to get into a few standing poses. So let us begin. Inhale, arms over your head. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, right, left leg back. Come into your runner's lunge to start off with. And just feel your inner thighs opening here. Get a nice stretch. Feel yourself really getting a little bit deeper into this. And now turning your back foot so that it is parallel to the back of the mat or 45 degrees to the back of the mat. Continuing to have a nice deep stretch, letting your hips go towards the floor. We're going to come up into Warrior One here. So come on up into Warrior One. You want to make sure that the outer edge of your back foot is pushing into the mat. You want to make sure that your hips are nice and square. You want to have a nice bend in the front knee. You want to be leaning forward. You want to be coming back here. Make sure that your front knee is over your toes. You don't want it tilting in to the inside. Make sure everything is nice and straight, arms over your head. And now let's open up into Warrior Two. In Warrior Two, let's make sure that our arms are very even. Nice deep lunge, nice deep bend in the knee. Now turn the front palm up and let's come back into Reverse Warrior. Letting your back arm find its way down your back leg. Keeping a nice deep bend in the front knee. And now come on back into Warrior Two. Cartwheel your hands all the way down to the mat. And come on back into Plank. From here, we're going to go into a side plank. So bring your weight to the right. You're going to use your right arm and straight up like that. You're making a straight line with both arms. Make sure your hips are not sagging down here. You want your hips nice and high. Bring both hands back to the mat and go through your vinyasa. And let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Let's go ahead and lift your left leg up. Bring it through to the front of the mat. And then we're going to turn our back foot out to 45 degrees and coming all the way up into Warrior One. Again, you want to make sure your back leg is straight. Push into the back outer edge, the outer edge of your back foot, making sure that you have enough weight in your back foot. Bending your front knee, shoulders and hips pointing to the front. Make sure that your knees not coming in to the inside. You want to make sure that that knee is right over your ankle, not past your toes. And now it's Warrior Two. And now check in with your face. Make sure you're not clenching your teeth, you're not making your lips tight, your eyebrows tight. Just let everything relax. You're happy. You're happy here. We're in Warrior Two and we're so happy. And then turn the left palm up. Bring it back into Reverse Warrior. Make sure you have a nice deep bend in that front knee. And back to Warrior Two. And cartwheel your arms down to the floor. And now we're going to do a side plank on this side. So make sure that your front body is facing the wall. And just feel the strength that you're building from this pose. Bring both hands back down and go through your flow. Let's hang out here in downward dog for a second, and of course, if you would like to take child's pose, you may go right ahead. Okay, so raise your left leg up, step it through to the front of the mat, and let's do a high crescent lunge from here. But let's start with our knee on the floor. Taking your knee down, come all the way up. Feel a stretch coming right through this part of your leg, right through here. And then when you're ready, curl your toes under, come all the way up. And now taking your left arm, hooking it on the outside of your right knee, come into prayer position, turning your whole body. You're gonna feel a nice stretch in your right hip. So pushing your hands together, pushing your chest and your abdomen away from your leg, making sure your back leg is straight. It's a great balance pose also. You can open up, spread your wings if you like. Come on back into prayer. It's okay if you wiggle though, right? Because it's a practice. And then hands back down to the floor. Go through your vinyasa. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So go ahead and lift your left leg up. Bring it all the way through. Lower your back leg to the floor. And now just come on up. Feel a nice stretch in the inner thigh, front of the leg, maybe even in your abdomen. When you're ready, you can tuck your back toes under again, straighten your back leg, and then hooking your left arm on your right knee, come into prayer here. You want to make sure that you're pushing your hands together and pushing away from your leg. Make sure you have a nice bend in your front knee. Be aware of where your knee is, not wanting it over your toes or too far inside your toes. Get a nice twist in your back. And then bring your hands back down. Put that leg back into plank. You can lower down to your knees, chest, chin from here. And now slowly come all the way up into Cobra. Making sure not to squeeze your butt cheeks. Let your heart shine forward. If this is uncomfortable, don't do it. You can always take child's pose. You can take baby cobra. And from here, we are going to push back into child's pose. And now coming up onto all fours. From here, let's go ahead and locate our blocks. because we're going to be doing some seated poses from here, and it's really good to have your blocks real close to you because you never know when you're going to need them. So let's have our blocks real close. I like to put 2 at the front of the mat, 2 at the back of the mat, 1 on one side of the mat, 1 on the other side of the mat. That way I can get at them very easily. Let's start off with our legs straight out in front of us. And we're just going to do some warming up our ankles. So go ahead and point your toes. Make sure you're sitting up nice and straight here. You don't want to be slouching. If this is uncomfortable for you, feel free to put your arms behind you. So point your toes and flex and point and flex. And as we do this, try to keep your heels off the mat. When you pull back, pull your heels off the mat. You want to feel a nice stretch coming through the backs of your legs. And point and stretch. Point and flex. And now let's do a rotation. I guess this is a counterclockwise. We're going backwards, we're going counterclockwise. And now we're going to go clockwise. Rotate those ankles clockwise. And relax. Let's bring the right leg into the groin. Taking your shoulders and turning them towards the left leg. I want you to take your right hand and reach for your left pinky toe. So come all the way to your left pinky toe. This hand can be on a block if you need to. You can be here if you need to, on the middle of your lower leg. You can be at your ankle, whatever feels right for you. Again, this is not about hurting. This is about feeling good through all the poses. So just come down, let your head come lower down as far as is comfortable for you. You might be feeling a nice stretch through the right side of your back. If you want to put your left hand kind of behind you a little bit, that might increase the stretch for you. It starts to get your spine rotating a little bit. And then come on up. We're going to take our right leg and put it over our left knee. And now we're taking our left foot, our left leg, we're bending it. And now just hug that right knee into your body. You should be feeling a really nice stretch through your right hip area. Pull that knee into your body. And now take your right arm and put it behind you, and take your left hand and put it on the outside of your right knee, and just push against that knee to start to turn into your stretch. Turning into your rotation, spinal twist. So come back to neutral. Let's talk about that spinal twist for a second. So you want to start at the lumbar region. So you're starting your twist, and you're going to focus on just twisting from the very base area of your spine, okay? A little bit below your belly button area. And when you twist, you're just twisting from your lumbar section. And when you get as far as you can, now you're going to twist from just your thoracic section. And that's the middle of your back. So just twist in the middle. And when you get as far as you can, now you're going to do your cervical. And then when you get as far as you can, your eyes are going to look as far as they can to the right. And that is the safest way to do a spinal twist. You're going to come out of it backwards, the same way you went into it. That's a nice, safe way to do your spinal twist. Okay, so now we're going to go into fire logs. You're just going to put this front leg nice and straight with the front of the mat. taking your right leg on top of your left knee. And the goal here is to get this knee down to meet the, getting your right knee to meet your left ankle. If that is not happening for you today, that's okay. Instead, you can take a block and you can put it right underneath that leg so that it's a lot less painful. Again, we don't want pain. Discomfort is okay, but pain is not what we're after here. And so if this is where you're at, this is perfect. And let's just have you stay here. If you're comfortable being here and you want to go a little further, you can always start to reach your hands forward and bend down. Now, stay there if that's good for you. If that's too much, if this just all feels like too much, you can always use a bigger block, right? You can take this and this is your bigger block. If that is still too much for you, something else you can do is just take this foot off of the knee. Take your right foot off of the left knee and sit in another form of easy pose, right? You can have your left leg in front, you can have your right leg in front. It doesn't matter because in the end, you're gonna switch them out and do the other side. So if this is where you're at today, that is fine, that is wonderful. If you're here and you can come down forwards, go ahead and do so. If this is where you wanna stay, that's fine too. So you can loosen it up, you can bring it in tighter, you can put one leg on your knee with a nice block under the leg. You can have no block under the leg, and you can reach all the way forward. Any one of those variations is perfect for you. So let's just feel this for a few more moments. When you're ready, come on back up out of it. Remove your block if you're using one. And now let's just come around to the other side. So what you're gonna do is put your right foot on the floor and watch this. It's fun. You're just gonna twist all the way around. And now your left leg is on top for your fire log. So we're gonna just take care of the same thing on this side. Put a block under your leg if you need to. If you don't need to, you go right ahead into your stretch. Now just keep in mind that usually everyone has a side that's more flexible than the other. Our sides are not the same, and that's okay. You just work with what you have. Feel the stretch, breathe through it. Use your breath to breathe through it, surrendering to the discomfort. Two more nice deep breaths here. Slowly coming back up, removing your block. And now let your left foot come down to the floor. And go ahead and hug that knee right on into your chest. And if this is where you need to stay, that's fine. If you'd like to take it a little bit further, take your left arm behind you and hook your right elbow on the outside of your left knee. And just go ahead and do that spinal twist, starting at the lumbar and twisting into your thoracic, and then the cervical, and then your eyes. ready, you can come on out of that. Go ahead and straighten this leg out. Bring your right leg into your groin. And now reach your left hand, your right hand to your left foot, or anywhere along this leg that is feeling comfortable for you. Go as far as what is comfortable for you. And then just feel a nice side body stretch. You feel this in your side body, you feel it in your low back, right side of your low back. And then come on out of that. Bringing both legs straight. Just give them a little shake. And now let's roll down to our backs. And from here, we're just going to take a little break and let our spine reset on the floor. And now coming back up, sitting, we're going to go into butterfly. So bring your soles of your feet together, and you can bring your heels as close as you can to your groin. If that is not working out for you, then you can bring them a little bit further back, have a little bit more space between your heels and your groin, and then just holding onto your feet and your toes, just go ahead and lean forward, bending at the hips. If you can bring your head down to your toes, that's great. If you can't, you just stay here. You'll probably feel a nice stretch in your low back. Feel a stretch in your hips. Don't forget you can use your props. You can use a block that you can rest your head on if you want to. And you can also bring your feet closer to your body. And again, holding onto your toes. Just pull yourself forward all the way down using the block if you would like. This is a great stretch for your low back. Great stretch for your inner thighs. If it starts to become too much of a stretch, don't forget you can always use your blocks under your legs, and you can still get a nice low back stretch here. And when you're ready, come on out of that. Remove your blocks, bring your legs together, and just rock them side to side. Get a nice rebound from what we just did. And from here, we're going to roll all the way back, down onto our backs. Bringing your feet close to your butt, you should have, your fingertips should be able to touch your heels. And from here, we're going to go into a bridge. That's going to be a really great counter pose for what we just did. So we're going to slowly roll our hips vertebrae by vertebrae, engaging the abdomen, and start to lift your hips up off the floor. Try to keep your knees parallel to each other. And pushing down with your feet, you're raising your rear end, you're raising your back up off the floor. You can interlace your hands and bring your shoulder blades closer together and keep pushing your feet and raising your hips off the floor. And then come on down. And we're bringing it right back up again, pushing your feet into the floor, engaging your glutes, engaging your hamstrings. And back down again. This is so wonderful, such a great strengthening exercise for the back side of our body. It's such a great thing to do after anything that has you leaning forward. Come on down. We'll do 3 more. Bring it up and down. Bring it up. Push your feet into the floor and down. 1 more. Push, push, push. Make this one count. Really push your feet into the floor and down. Letting go of your hands. I think now is time for some Shavasana. Straighten your legs. Let your hands roll out. Let your feet roll out if they want to. Feel your back on the floor. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. On the exhale, let everything go. Feel yourself melting into the floor. Again, nice deep inhale. On the exhale, feel all of your facial muscles, your eyes, just let it all go. Let it relax. Almost like you can feel your face dripping down off your skull. And just let all the tension let go out of your body. Recognize you did some wonderful hard work, and you did absolutely wonderful. You are all amazing. You all got yourselves fired up, heated up. You got length in your muscles, and now it's time to relax. After spending about 5 minutes in Shavasana, go ahead and roll onto your left side, onto the right side of your body. And just cradle your head for a moment. Let everything just integrate. Feel the peace inside your body. Feel the peace in your mind. And coming up to seated position, we'll finish the practice off with 3 more Oms. So together with me, inhale. Om.